Walk into any gun store right now and you'll see the exact same thing every single time. A crowd around the Glock case, a waiting list for the newest micro compact, and a few genuinely excellent handguns just sitting there, collecting dust, completely ignored, even though some of them have been proven on battlefields and duty belts for decades. These aren't bad guns. Some of them are built like tanks. Some of them have documented endurance testing well past 10,000 rounds without a single critical failure, numbers most trendy pistols have never even been tested toward. Real carriers who actually take the time to shoot them walk away impressed every single time, and then can't understand why nobody else seems to know these guns exist. So why does nobody buy them? Today we're covering 6 handguns that real shooters keep overlooking in 2026, even though the engineering underneath tells a completely different story than the one the market believes. Some of these have military contract histories most buyers have never heard of. Some of them shoot better than pistols costing twice as much. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the market got these 6 wrong, and maybe why one of them belongs in your safe. Let's get into it. Number 6. Beretta PX4. Storm up the PX4. Storm gets walked past constantly because the frame looks a little bulky and the controls feel like an old-school duty gun, and that reaction is exactly the mistake. Beretta still builds this pistol around a rotating barrel system instead of the standard tilting barrel almost every competitor uses. That difference matters more than most buyers realize. A rotating barrel distributes recoil differently through the frame, which means the gun tracks flatter during rapid fire than most polymer double-action pistols in this size class. Independent testing has documented individual PX4 pistols running past 50,000 rounds through sustained endurance evaluation without losing reliability, a number very few striker-fired competitors have ever been publicly tested against. 15+1 capacity, weight unloaded of around 27.7 ounces, ambidextrous controls throughout. The trigger requires learning a proper double-action first pull, followed by a lighter single-action reset, which is exactly the reason most buyers walk away. Real carriers coming from Glock or SIG expect one trigger feel for every shot. This gun asks for a different skill, and most people would rather buy something familiar than learn something better. There's a real-world consequence to that resistance. Experienced trainers who work extensively with the PX4 platform have kept it in rotation for their own personal carry, precisely because the recoil management is so much better than the frame's bulky appearance suggests. That kind of long-term commitment from people who actually train professionally is a stronger endorsement than any spec sheet, and it rarely reaches the buyer standing at the counter deciding between this and whatever's trending that week. Price approximately $600. Capacity 15+1. Best known for one of the softest recoil impulses in its size class, thanks to genuinely different internal engineering. Number 5. HKP-30. The HKP-30 earns respect from anyone who actually shoots it, then gets ignored the moment the price tag shows up, and that's the entire story of this gun. HK built the P-30 around modular ergonomics years before that became a marketing buzzword everyone else copied. Interchangeable backstraps and side panels let you tune the grip more precisely than most modern carry guns still offer. Internal testing has documented individual P-30 barrels exceeding 90,000 rounds during endurance evaluation, a number that puts this platform in a category most manufacturers never even attempt to test toward. Capacity of 15+1 in the standard configuration, weight unloaded of around 26.3 ounces. The double-action single-action variant gives you a traditional decocker setup, while the LEM variant offers a pre-cocked, consistent trigger pull that real trainers who work with this platform consistently praise once shooters actually spend time with it. The reason it gets skipped in 2026 has nothing to do with quality and everything to do with buyer habit. Built up over years of marketing exposure to a handful of dominant brands, most people want a striker trigger, an optics-ready slide out of the box, and a manual of arms they already know cold. The P-30 asks for a small amount of homework before it rewards you, and most buyers would rather grab something familiar off the shelf than invest the time. Price approximately $1,100. Capacity 15+1. Best known for ergonomic customization, deeper than almost any other duty pistol on the market. Number 4. Jericho 941. Most people pick up the steel-framed Jericho, feel the weight, and immediately set it back down like it personally offended them. And that reaction is exactly why this gun keeps sitting in display cases. The current Jericho runs close to 38 ounces unloaded, and that weight is precisely why it shoots as cleanly as it does. Built on the same design lineage as the Z75, With slide rails riding inside the frame rather than outside, the bore axis sits noticeably lower than most polymer competitors. That single detail changes everything about how the gun handles rapid fire. Recoil pushes straight back into your hand instead of flipping the muzzle upward, which means faster, more accurate follow-up shots without fighting the gun between trigger pulls. 16 or 17 round magazines depending on configuration. Cold hammer forged or button rifled barrels depending on variant. A traditional double-action, single-action trigger with either a frame-mounted safety or cocker depending on model. What kills this gun's sales in 2026 is pure market trend. Buyers chase micro-compacts and lightweight optics-cut pistols, and a heavy all-steel service gun doesn't fit that story, even though the engineering underneath is genuinely excellent and the price sits nowhere near what comparable steel-framed competitors charge. Field stripping is refreshingly simple too, which matters more than people realize once round counts start climbing. There's no exotic takedown procedure, no proprietary tool required, just a straightforward service pistol that rewards owners who actually put rounds through it instead of leaving it in a safe because it feels heavier than what everyone else on social media seems to be carrying. Price approximately $650. Capacity 16+1 or 17+1 depending on model. Best known for a recoil impulse that feels like a push instead of a snap, thanks to a genuinely lower bore axis. Number 3. Arex Rex 01. Pull this one out of the case and most buyers stare at the name like they've never seen it before. Then quietly ask for something with a more familiar logo instead. That reaction is genuinely funny because mechanically this pistol sits in the exact same category as classic duty guns real agencies have trusted for decades. Aluminum alloy frame, double-action single-action hammer system, 17-round 9mm magazines. Arex originally engineered this platform around military durability standards for their National Armed Forces, and that heritage shows the moment you rack the slide. The slide is machined from night-righted steel. The barrel is cold hammer forged. Independent evaluation has documented this platform meeting a 30,000 round service life standard, along with rated compatibility for Plus P defensive ammunition, which is a serious engineering claim for a gun that costs meaningfully less than the big-name competition it mechanically resembles. The trigger typically breaks in a 5 to 6 pound range with a clean wall and a genuinely short reset once it's fully broken in through normal use. The problem is purely brand recognition. American buyers instantly trust Glock, SIG, Beretta, and Smith & Wesson. A name most people have never heard doesn't earn that same instant confidence, even when the machining quality has been consistently solid for years. Price approximately $580. Capacity 17+1. Best known for duty-grade engineering at a price point that undercuts every recognizable competitor. Number 2. Sarsilmaz SR9. This one sits in the strangest corner of the entire market. The engineering is genuinely excellent. Almost nobody in America recognizes the name on the slide. Sarsilmaz has manufactured firearms continuously since the late 1800s and currently produces sidearms under military and police contracts overseas. Yet the average American buyer has likely never heard the brand mentioned once in their entire life. That single fact keeps this pistol sitting in display cases far longer than it deserves. The modern platform is a full-size striker-fired duty pistol with a polymer frame reinforced by steel inserts, 17-round magazines, and a weight of around 26 to 27 ounces unloaded, putting it directly in line with mainstream service pistols buyers already trust. Interchangeable backstraps and side panels let shooters tune grip size more precisely than most striker guns in this category. A deep beaver tail and undercut trigger guard let your hand sit higher on the frame, which keeps the bore axis low and the recoil impulse tracking straight back rather than snapping upward. The trigger typically breaks in a 5 to 6 pound range with a clean wall and a short reset once it's broken in. This exact platform reportedly endured extensive reliability and environmental testing during national handgun trials before entering service, which is precisely the kind of validation that builds a genuine reliability reputation, even when it never translates into mainstream American recognition. Price approximately $450. Capacity 17+1. Best known for military trial-grade durability at a price most buyers assume can't be real. Number 1. CZ75 SP01. Here's the one that should embarrass the entire market and somehow still gets passed over constantly. The CZ75 design has been in continuous production since 1975, 50 years. The SP01 variant is the modern duty and competition evolution of that platform, and it has been carried by police and military forces across multiple countries for decades. 18+1 capacity. all-steel construction, weight unloaded of around 45 ounces, a double-action single-action trigger with a smooth 9-pound double-action pull, and a crisp 4-pound single-action brake that experienced shooters consistently rank among the best factory triggers available on any duty pistol at any price. The reason this platform earns the #1 spot on this list is simple. It has more documented real-world service history than almost every other gun mentioned here combined, and it still gets passed over in favor of whatever striker-fired pistol is trending that particular month. The weight that scares off casual buyers is the exact same weight that makes this one of the flattest shooting 9mm pistols in production. The slide rides inside the frame rails instead of outside, the same low-bore axis engineering that makes every gun on this list shoot better than its reputation suggests, taken to its most refined factory execution. Real shooters who actually spend range time with the SP-01 consistently walk away asking the same question. Why isn't everyone buying this? The honest answer is the same one that applies to every gun on this list. Brand momentum and social media trends move faster than genuine engineering credentials, and a 50-year proven platform doesn't generate the same excitement as whatever's new this week. There's something almost poetic about that. The exact design principles that make this gun shoot so well, the internal rails, the low-bore axis, the tight slide-to-frame fit, are the same principles every other gun on this entire list borrows from in some form. This is the source material, the original blueprint that Jericho followed, that countless competition pistols have copied, and that still outshoots most of what replaced it in the public imagination, even 50 years later. Price approximately $750. Capacity 18+1. Best known for the most decorated real-world service record of any handgun on this entire list. 6 handguns. 6 completely different reasons real shooters keep walking past them. Not one of them earned its spot on this list because of a flaw in the gun itself. Every single one earned it because of brand recognition, market trends, or buyer habits that have nothing to do with actual performance on the range or in a real defensive situation. If you own one of these, you already know something the algorithm hasn't caught up to yet. If you don't, it might be time to stop shopping the logo and start shopping the engineering underneath it, because the numbers don't lie even when the marketing budgets do. Hit that like button right now if this genuinely opened your eyes to a gun you'd never seriously considered before today. Subscribe for more honest breakdowns like this one. Drop a comment telling us which one of these 6 you already own, or which one just moved to the top of your list. Stay safe, stay trained, and carry the gun that's actually earned it, not just the one everyone else is buying.